Hi everyone, it's Mel again. I've had several requests on how I make my embossing powder flowers using silicone mould. So this is what we're talking about. So that's the large rose, and then in here we've got a couple of small roses. So if I just quickly run through what you need. Obviously you need some silicone mould, so that's obviously my large rose. That's my small rose, and then I've got a cameo mould there. Obviously you need some embossing powder. I'm using Wow embossing powder, metallic copper, quite a big pot, but you can use any embossing powder. I mean, it's great for using your cheap rubbish embossing powders. They all work. I've tried it and you get the same results. You need some tin foil, something to heat the embossing powder in. I've bought this particular pack from my Poundland shop. I got 50 for £1, so lasts me for ages. And then you need some sort of clip to hold your foil tin, because obviously you're using a heat embossing tool and it gets very, very hot, so you need something at arm's length for the foil tin. Obviously you need your heat gun, and then just to finish it off I've got my rub and buff, and most importantly you need a heat-proof mat, obviously to protect your work surface, but also if you happen to spill some of this heated embossing powder, it is really hot. I have burnt myself several times, and if it falls onto the heat-proof mat it does set almost instantly, so it's great. It could save a lot of accidents. Right, okay, let's get started. So I've decided I'm going to make the small rose for this, purely because of the time element with the embossing powder. So tip some embossing powder into my foil case, attach my clip. Now what you have to do is actually heat from underneath, because obviously if you heated from the top your embossing powder would blow everywhere. So just heat from the top, as you can see, but it's starting to turn already. And this is the part that is the most long-winded actually, is getting the embossing powder, especially if you're doing some of the larger moulds, because you do actually need quite a bit of embossing powder, so it can actually take a while, and you have to make sure that your embossing powder is completely melted, because otherwise it sets really, really quickly and you won't be able to pour it into your mould. I don't know whether you can see, but mine's starting to go. Now, what I'm going to do is, just to finish it off, I'm just going to put the heat on the top, because there's enough there to stop it from blowing now. As you can see, I'm starting to get the rippled effect, which means it's all liquefied. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So then all you do is you literally pour it into your mould. That's it. Stop. See, move that out of the way because it's extremely hot. And then all you have to do is wait for a minute or two. I'm just going to give that a little tap just to make sure it's gone into all the crevices. I normally leave it a couple of minutes and it just easily pops out the mould, but obviously I want it to set as quickly as possible so I can show you for this tutorial. So we'll give it a couple of minutes. I mean, I'll just show you some of the ones that I've made. I mean, I think these are just lovely for your projects. Cards, these are perfect for cards. This one is probably good for putting on a mini album. Be okay on a card. I think it is quite big, but they're great. And then I think the rub and buff just finishes them off. So right, yeah, that looks as if it's probably set. So all you do is you literally pop it out of your mould. I mean, I can pick that up now. You know, it does dry really, really quickly. So just to finish it off, take your rub and buff on your finger, just a tiny bit, and then just literally rub it over the top, just to give it that vintage look. And there it is. Embossing powder flowers using silicone moulds. Thank you for watching. Please leave me a comment. Bye.